guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mishra here, and if you're new, my name is Mishra, and on my channel we talk about all things budgeting, and also you'll see some kind of random home kind of videos in there. And the reason for that is that we used to live in a basement apartment for 7 years, and then our family grew, and so now we've moved into a 3-bedroom townhouse, and so it's a lot more to manage, and so I'm kind of trying to keep myself a little bit accountable to have our house organized, and along with our finances and everything else organized. So thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video. Yeah, and so first what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our goals. So I'm not gonna necessarily do a recap of November. In November, I didn't do a reset video. I didn't actually write down any goals. In general, my goals are normally to increase our income. But yeah, so I didn't really go over November. I did do a budget recap last week. So if you're interested, you can check that video and you can kind of see how November went on the money side of things. And so first we're just gonna jump into our goals. So I have my goals separated into 3 sections. So family, social, and financial. So I'm just gonna kind of jot down, I didn't do this beforehand, so I'm just gonna kind of jot down how I want December to be. I know December is normally a month where we don't set too much goals, to kind of just take things slow before the new year, but I do want to still be a little bit intentional in December. So I'm gonna just write down some stuff and then we'll get into the December goals. Okay, so goals are done. And I think, I kept it pretty simple for this month. It's gonna be kind of a busy month already with my family starting next week, which is at least 2 weeks before Christmas. And we're already meeting, or we're already getting together with my dad's side of the family. So our festivities are gonna start from pretty early. And then there's my mom's side of the family, and then there's my husband's side of the family. So definitely we're gonna have a lot of things going on in the month of December. Luckily, I have some time off at the end of between Christmas and New Year's from work. Our whole office is shut down basically during the time, which I love. Anyways, let's get into it. So basically starting with family. So I want to organize, I'm always trying to organize our house, but organize my kids' chores and kind of stay on them about doing them. So we use an app called the Mido app, which is really cool. Like, it's from RBC Bank, and basically you set up the chores for the kids to do during the week. So I have, say, like organize your laundry on Friday, clean your room on Sunday. So basically for each task, you can assign a dollar value, and then at the end of every week, if they've been able to check off their tasks, it automatically pays them the money from like an account. So it's pretty cool. My kids are pretty motivated by money because they like to go to the store and spend their own money, and they like to be able to have the freedom just to choose whatever they want to buy. So we have that, but they've been kind of slacking in that department. So I want to kind of just like get that back on track. Take more time for self-care. So that's something that I definitely struggle with. Like, I feel like obviously before I had kids, I was more kind of like on top of that, but just take some time for myself. It doesn't have to be anything major. I'm not saying going and like getting massages and doing all this stuff, but just kind of like some me time, quiet time. So I want to try and implement that a little bit more. And then lastly, I just want to enjoy the holidays with my family. So obviously over the last few years, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the world, and we actually haven't been able to get together with especially my mom's side of the family. I just want to enjoy the time with my family. So on to social media. So, okay, I don't have a lot of social media goals, but I would like to hit 200 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, now is a great time to do that. And then the other thing is I want to produce new types of content. So obviously I always sit here, I do my budget, but I would like to kind of venture into the, day in the life, like that type of thing, do other type of content, which it's not that easy, especially like with my kids and stuff like that. it's just not easy because they're always just like rambunctious and loud, which is fine because they're kids, but it's not the easiest just to kind of like film with them. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I would like to kind of, just jazz it up a little bit. And so that's basically the only goals I have for my social media. Not too much of a stretch. And then so financial goals. So as always, I would like to earn a little extra income. As you'll see when we get into my budget, it's kind of just basic. There's no side stuff. Well, there is a little bit of side stuff, but I would like to kind of like earn some extra income during the month. So that's pretty self-explanatory. The other thing obviously is to pay down debt. That's always the goal. So if I can put anything extra, like I already have it set up where I'm paying a decent amount every month just from minimum payments. But I would like to pay a little bit more just to kind of accelerate that, because once our debt is gone, we're gonna have so much extra cash flow. And then I would like to start a 1 month ahead fund. So I think for us, part of our issue is not just our income, but it's the timing of our cash flow. So like in the earlier parts of the month, we don't have as much money because I get paid in the end of the month, and then I pay all of our bills for the first part. But then when it comes to just like variable expenses, it's harder for us to stay on top of those in the first part of the month. So I would like to have kind of like a 1 month ahead so we don't have to really worry about our bills for the month. And yeah, so we can kind of be living off of the previous month's income, if that makes any sense. Those are my December goals. Like nothing too crazy. If it happens, it happens. I'm not gonna like stress over them. But yeah, I can't wait to see what December has to bring. I think it's already December. Yeah, it's already December 3rd or maybe the 4th. So it's already December 4th. So month is already flying. It's already flying by. But anyway, so let's just get into our budget. I have our stuff up on my laptop here, so I might be kind of looking away a little bit. But so for December, right now, our income is going to be, I'm expecting it to be around $7,080 for our main jobs. My husband during the season, at his work, they're not shut down, but it's a slower season, so they reduce their hours during that time. So our income is not actually as high as it potentially could be. And then our Canada Child Benefit, which is a benefit that we get from the government every month, depending on your income. And so side gigs, so I have my bookkeeping, which is just a pretty steady form of income. So this month I should be getting $1,000. And then for financial services, so this is always unpredictable, and I don't really have anything kind of like in the pipeline right now. So I'm not gonna put anything, well, I have one thing in the pipeline, but it's, yeah, basically we'll see if that ends up happening or not. If it does, then that would be amazing. But if it doesn't, that's okay because I'm not including it in my budget anyways. And then other income, I know like normally in December, I do get extra money because it's Christmas and stuff like that. So I'm also still not going to put anything there because even though generally I do get extra money every year, I don't count on it, and I'm just grateful to have anything in the first place. So I don't count it because it's not guaranteed. And yeah, so that's basically our income. So $8,426 we're budgeting, which compared to November, our budget amount was $10,226. So that definitely is a significant difference, but we're just gonna kind of do what we do. Okay, so next we're going to go down to our fixed expenses. So these generally stay the same. And so we don't have a car payment anymore because if you watch my previous videos, our car was in an accident. So we don't have a car payment to our actual like loan provider. We got money to pay that off, like a personal loan to pay that off so that we could salvage our car. But so now we just owe kind of on the personal side of things, so the payment is different. So WYSE, that's our electricity. It's $60 a month is what I'm budgeting. OPUC is our, maybe that's our electricity. Either one, they're both utilities. So budgeting $140 for that. Our rent is $2,422. And our parking is $80 because we only have one car now. It used to be $160. And then our internet is $108. And then we have insurance for our family, which is $300. And American Express. So basically all of my subscriptions come off of my American Express card. And so that totals $175, which seems very high, but I have a subscription for QuickBooks because I use it for my bookkeeping. So compared to bringing in $1,000, I think it's $95 is the QuickBooks. So that's not too big. Like, it allows me to generate a lot more money than I have to spend. Eventually, I would like to get to a point where my side money is not included into my regular budget, and that can basically only happen once my debt is paid off. So State Farm or Desjardins, so that's our car insurance. So it used to be $440, but now because we don't have our second car, it's $220. So I'm glad that that has gone down. Eventually, we will have to get a new car because my husband works half an hour from where we live. I work 10 minutes from where we live. And just with the kids and the timing of stuff, we've been able to make it work right now, but ideally it's not the best. Hopefully that will be changing. Not necessarily in the near future because we kind of have to figure out that situation. So I'm just kind of like glad to have a little bit of money back in our pocket right now. Yeah, okay, so TELUS, that's our cell phone bill. So I have to look into this because we don't have long distance to the US and my stepdaughter lives in the US. So sometimes when we call her, we're just incurring long distance charges, and it could be like $30 a month or $40. And then sometimes if I call my grandparents in Jamaica, that also will be long distance, but I've tried to start using WhatsApp because now they're hip with it. They're on the WhatsApp. So $350, and also included in that, my husband just got a new watch. So that's an extra $26 a month. So that's why that's increased. But what we did is we canceled our Disney Plus and we canceled something else. We canceled another subscription, and then we decreased our Netflix subscription. So in order to account for the extra $26, we decreased some of our other like little subscription stuff so that it wouldn't really make a difference. So those are our bills, $3,855. So our fixed bills are less than half of our income, which our projected income, which is, you know, good. So let's move on to our debt payments. So here we don't really have too much of a difference. So now we're paying $500 towards paying off our car. Our credit card, we pay $170 towards, because I still have 2 credit cards. And then our American Express, the minimum payment is $20. So we obviously pay the subscriptions, but then also there is the $20 that goes on top of that. And then we have 2 consolidation loans. One is mine, one is my husband. And those do not have any interest accumulating. So because of that, we're able, like the payment that you see there, the $473 and the $740 is just paying down our debt. So that's kind of like when we did the consolidation loan, that was kind of the motivation. So it's like we're paying it and no matter what, it's just going down and we're not accumulating more during that time. Now for our variable expenses. So for groceries, we have our regular grocery budget of $600, even though that probably does need to increase. And so we've gotten, or we're going to have a few more of the Chef's Plate meals, like the kind of meal prep company. So that will, because we're trying to just eliminate eating out because it ends up being very expensive, especially if we want to do Uber Eats if we don't want to leave the house. And so it just starts to get expensive and obviously not as healthy. So yeah, and then So for dining out, we did put a budget of $200. But this month also, we're gonna be eating at a lot of families' house, so that might be able to reduce some of our grocery budget. And then my kids, well, this is different. My kids aren't going to be in school for a portion of the month, so that could either seriously increase having them home all day long eating, or it could potentially decrease because we're not having to, I don't know, create like send 3 snacks a day for lunch or whatever, but we'll see. And for fuel, we're gonna do $400. So we only have one car, and so even though we do still have to drive a little bit further with the one car for my husband to get to work, we've been able to kind of reduce the amount of money that we spend on gas. So, and then because my husband isn't going into work as frequently, so I like to try and fill up our tank $100 a week, and hopefully that should be sufficient. And then so for our pets, we have 2 dogs and we have fish. My husband has a saltwater aquarium. And so basically the $400 pays for anything to do with like dog food or fish food, or even like chemicals to put inside the fish tank. So anything that my husband kind of needs for what I call his hobby. And so miscellaneous, I always just put this miscellaneous buffer of $200 in there because there's always things that come up that you don't anticipate. $1,800 is what we're basically spending on variable expenses. If we go to the top, oh, no, I forgot something. Christmas. Okay, so for Christmas, I'm going to budget $400. So that makes sense. Honestly, I don't know if I'm actually going to spend that amount of money because in our household, we're kind of not trying to teach our kids, but just trying to value more experiences and time spent than gifts. Because we always find we'll buy our kids toys and all this different type of stuff. And then like by the next month, they're not interested. The toys are broken. They're drawn on. They don't really care. And then part of that too is aside from the gifts that we give them, they get gifts from my other various family members. And so it ends up being just kind of like a lot of stuff. So we're not minimalists, but when it comes to stuff like this, we just do want to teach our kids more about family and not necessarily gifts, and spending time with each other and having experiences. So because we're going to be off during the Christmas break, then I'll try and probably even use some of that money to do little activities with them, like make gingerbread, like maybe make a gingerbread house or something like that, bake cookies, make Rice Krispie squares, like something like that, but something where we'll have more family time together, especially because during the month, our schedules are so kind of busy that we don't really get to spend as much time together. So not too bad. Obviously, in the last couple of months, our income has been significantly higher. We've been around the $10,000, $11,000 mark, but that's okay. We can still kind of work it out the way it is. And yeah, so that is our December budget. Thank you for coming to my December reset. We're just gonna take this month slow and really soak in the family time, and yeah, just enjoy the holidays. Like, I'm just so happy to be able to spend the time with my family this year compared to previous years. Yeah, so anyways, if you like this video, again, please give it a thumbs up. If you're still here watching, please subscribe to my channel. Let me accomplish one of my social media goals for this month, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.